Are you ready to go from limited to limitless? Are you truthfully ready to create a life with ease and grace? It's time for you to step into the life you've always dreamed of. I'm Tracy and I'm going to teach you how to unleash the superhuman within. Together, we will shift your energy and step into a world of unlimited possibilities. After 3 near-death experiences, a kidnapping, and a closet full of illnesses, I learned the keys to unlocking the secrets within, and now I'm ready to help you unlock your secrets. Join me every Tuesday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific, right here on Transformation Talk Radio, where the natural meets the supernatural. Welcome to this week's episode of the Tracy L. Clark Show. I am so excited to have you back, and welcome to our new listeners. However, and whenever you hear this, you know what? It is an incredible Tuesday morning. Everybody's getting ready. If you are our American friends, we know you have a Thanksgiving coming up. We were just talking about that. Good food, parades, family, and fun, which can also be a little bit stressful. So today's is a call-in show day. We're going to talk about things you can do to make your holidays a little bit easier. And I have my incredible, one of my super facilitators with me today, Doris. You saw her probably the last couple of weeks on the show, but I brought her in today for an interesting space where we're going to actually shift your energy together, or your question. So you can call in 1-800-930-2819, 1-800-930-2819. If there's something that you have that you're like, how can I change this? How can I make my holidays better? What can I do? Because a lot of times the holidays brings up a lot of stress for people, and it doesn't need to. So let us help you. That's why we're here. And I'm so happy to have her on with us, because sometimes you can't always get to me and people say, Tracy, I can't. So we bring you amazing people, because in our community, it is about making sure you're supported, you're heard. You know, a lot of times what happens is people don't feel heard, or they don't know where can they go. And in this world of energy and shifting and changing your lives and making everything better, there's also a lot of different pitfalls you can fall into. And a lot of people will wait till it's too late to start changing. Not too late, but it's harder. And it can be a world of ease and a world of grace. So if there is something burning that you would like us to handle with you today, 1-800-930-2819. Welcome, Doris. I guess Maggie's joining us today too.
Well, hello, Maggie. Thank you so much, Tracy, for having me yet again today. I'm so thankful and very thrilled to join you. It's probably going to be a really fun show. Let's see how the energy flows today with both of us.
I know.
I'm very grateful. Yes. Well, and I hope my dog might not join today too.
Even
so.
my Bailey might join in. I know our animals, we're all animal lovers in the TLC community. We love it. We love the shifting. Megan's like intensely, if you're on screen watching, going, what is happening? What is happening? So, you know, I know you were just saying you're heading down. You're going to be in New York for the holidays. And a lot of people listening probably understand that in the holiday time, it can be a little bit more stressful, and it can be a little bit more, I guess you could say either it's really fun, really stressful, or some people get really depressed. What's one thing you do to make sure your family's having fun over the holidays?
You know what? It really comes down to how I feel, really. It's like, you know, that you go in, if I anticipate that I'm going to be stressed by the family, and that I know that, yes, I'm going to hear the drama, or it's just going to be one bad story after another, I'm actually not going to anticipate going in with that feeling. I'm going to say, where am I going to come in, and I'm going to change this whole feeling. And I've told this before, where, you know, I put that intention in there that I want to come in and change that perception that everybody has, and then just add that I guess thankfulness and the happiness, and just shift the energy. And I found that has worked. I think everyone sort of misery loves company, but when you start throwing in that light in there, you're like, they look at you like, what's going on? Okay, well, let's just change this.
Yeah, so. It's a beautiful space, because I think that's what people forget is, I love what you said there, is you can change anything. You can change it, but it's your perception and willingness to go in and say, I'm going to do something different this season, rather than the same things that people do every year. Like, oh, okay, same event, same food, same whatever, right? So it's good when you can say, I'm going to really take the lead and show people something different. I love it. I love when that happens. All right, Zach, do we have Marianne, you said, on the line?
Yes, Marianne from Toronto. You are on the Tracy L. Clark Show.
Hi, Marianne.
Thank you. Hi, how are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you. I'm so glad I got through today.
Yes. Well, it's good. It pays to be right on top of things.
Yes,
What's your
absolutely.
question today?
Well, I was hoping I could have, I'd love to get some expansion, some new possibilities, better than I thought possible in romantic relationship, career, home ownership.
Romantic relationships. Okay. Yeah, there's a little bit of block in the heart space. I like this question. And then your other one was home ownership.
Yes, career,
Okay.
home ownership.
Yes. Okay. So let's take a peek. I'm going to actually, as you know, for people listening, before we get going here and helping Marianne shift this, usually when there's something that hasn't come into our space, for the new listeners and people understanding, there's usually something within this energetic system that has that block. And when we start to remove it, especially in the meridians, the energies that clog them all up, that creates that block or that resistance from the energy coming through. So Doris, I'm gonna actually have you come in first, and Marianne, you get both of us today. So you get a double whammy.
So
funny. I will say I've been in the space, and this is why I think this was the perfect opportunity to share this. So I was in a situation of looking and searching for perfect homes and perfect relationships. And funny enough, I found that there was one point where I kept forcing it and I kept thinking about it and dwelling over it. And it was that moment when I let it go and I said, you know what? I'm going to have to allow this to sort of manifest by itself. And I said, it has to be the right timing and the right people will come through. Before I knew it, and I was actually caught up in the thought of what I wanted was to buy a home. And in the end, I ended up getting an offer on my home. I ended up selling it and had 30 days to move out and ended up having to rent, which actually was the best blessing in the world because I found out that I wanted something. So I ended up getting what I wanted, but better, but I wasn't willing to look at the outcome that way. I wanted to force the outcome. It ended up happening when I let go of the outcome.
So we're going to let go of the outcome. I can also see and that's actually looks pretty good. So we're also going to shift with the heart space with the romantic partner. There's also a little bit of a block there, a little bit of a resistance because there's actually past heart issues that are coming up into the heart drives. It's heart drive. So where you've been hurt in the past, how you viewed a relationship in the past, I have to reverse that perception because how you viewed it in the past is actually coming forward with you. So it's like carrying a little bit of a backpack with you. And that energy is being caught. And that's where it's caught in your heart drive. I was just gagging as Doris was talking, as I was looking at this energy and removing it from you, because I was like, whoa, she's got a little backpack from past relationships. So basically, even though your mind is getting very clear on how it wants the new relationship to look, the frequency of the heart, so this is what I'm going to adjust and reverse for you, is still saying, well, I know I want that, but this is what I've experienced. So part of the system is saying, this is what I get. So it's pushing that frequency out. So that's why if anybody's watching, I do gag sometimes when I work on very deep things. And this happens. So I apologize. But it's just so I don't get sick. How does that feel when I reverse that? How does that feel in the body now?
It feels like I feel more open, and I do feel something coming up in my throat.
Yeah. Well, because that's also, as you can see, where there's an adjustment happening with the communication of how you communicated in past relationships, and you become very aware. I'm very proud of you for this, actually, of how you would like to. So I don't know if you've been thinking about this, writing about this, but you have in your field a very good perception around how you would like to have that communication show up in your relationship. Did you do some work around that? Because you're very clear on how you would like it to be, but the body's like, how do I say that?
Yeah, no, I've been trying in all relationships just to communicate differently. So I've been making a conscious effort of that. Yeah, I've definitely been doing that. But I also feel that when I attend any of your events or on calls, I feel things coming in my throat, and then it gets cleared out. So sometimes it could be a burping, but sometimes I get a little lump, and then eventually it'll release. So it could even be festering, like it's ready to come out as well.
Yeah, it's so ready to go. I'm so proud of you because it's ready to just expand, and that clarity is coming through in the throat. And I'm going to strengthen how you communicate to everybody. You're doing a really, really, really good job, and your awareness level is actually quite high now. So what I love about this is there's a whole old package of chills I can literally just rip out of your field to go into 2020. So you might feel a little bit, it might feel like a little bit of a void because it's going to be clean. It's not a void. It's like space. It's like creating new space of how your perception is. So I actually really, really like that. So let's just remove the remnants because your body is so ready to let go, and let's increase and we'll expand the frequency of what is left so the body can actually move into that new relationship. Now, remember, you've heard me say this a little bit differently too, that it might feel a little foreign when that person shows up. So don't worry about it because it's not an energy.
Yeah.
Right? So don't forget, don't run away. Yeah. People do that. Doris, do you have something else to add there? I love this. Her whole body is just,
it was exactly that. Like you just said, it was about like when somebody shows up, you're just like, okay, wait, that wasn't what I was looking for. It's like, wow, this actually could be better. Yeah. But I do remember, again, whenever you get that feeling of stuckness, I remember using her tools. Sometimes even just tapping.
Oh, the tapping of the throat.
The throat. Yeah, at least some of the tools that'll help you sort of unblock that a little bit, but that'll help you sort of catapult you a little bit more out.
Yeah. So. The other thing is I don't know if you know this, Marianne, what you can also do is you can command the body, if you move your hand upward around the throat before you tap it, to move quicker, to release faster, to let go faster. And as you talk to the body like that and then tap it, the body goes, oh, I guess I can get rid of this. And then all of a sudden it'll let go really, really quickly. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Feels really good. And the house space.
Well, now as I'm tapping.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, as you're tapping.
I was just going to say, as I'm tapping, it feels good, but I feel the release is coming out through my mouth, like it's rising through my throat out.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And you can sometimes, if you lean your head back, people don't know all this, but if you lean the head back even more, if it's in the throat area, it creates a bigger expansion. And then all of a sudden it'll even be faster. Yeah.
I feel that. Yeah. That's fantastic.
It's really good. So that I like. There is a partner there. So I love that. So I'm not actually worried about that at all with you. There seems to be just some final things that you're putting together in your space that are about your boundaries, like how you want it to see, things you're not going to allow in your life anymore. It's like cleanup, the party's over and you're just sort of putting things back into the place. And so that's huge. That's a great energy.
That's awesome.
Next year. And there is some stuff moving around home. There's a really interesting, I have to be careful how I say this, but there's a really interesting energy around Toronto and the whole housing area and in many different cities throughout North America. So it's really going to see how that ends up, which way it wants to go over the next, and unfortunately or fortunately, it's very tied to the US election and how that unfolds. So what I like to do in this area with people is, thank you God, open it. So the right space comes, but I don't want you overpaying. That's where there's that little bit of that caution right now. So you're really much on the caution, like there's a lot of caution showing up around it. So you can keep looking and opening, but there's other opportunities that you can see even financially that are opening up, and then you'll feel even more grounded and more at peace, and then the right one comes in. So that one I wouldn't push too hard. It's the relationship. You know, and we can always command that you just move into their house too.
Yeah, I'm bringing in the money as well, the finances. So that's all working together. So yeah.
You got it. It's changing. Yeah. Thank you, and let us know how you're doing. Okay.
Thank you so much. Day. I will. Thank you both.
Lots of love, my sweetheart. All right, Zach. We have Larissa on the line.
Yes, Larissa from Toronto. You are on the Tracy L. Clark Show.
Hi, Larissa. Oh, is she still there?
Larissa from Toronto, you are on the air.
Hello.
Hi.
Oh, there you are. We're trying to find
how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good.
What is your question today? You're so sweet. There we are.
So my question is, I've been working on a project for the last year and a half, and I finally presented it. it's for police, and I just feel like it's kind of stuck, installed, and I'm kind of getting sort of the runaround from my contact. And I really want this to happen. I'm really ready for this change. I just don't know why it's stuck, and why I feel like that stuck feeling, and it's stalled.
Okay, I see what's going on. Doris, do you want to pipe in here before I?
Well, a lot of it kind of, I find, stems from, it really is kind of like the forcing of the outcome sometimes, or just, it's hard to describe that. Actually, continue on, Tracy. I'm just going to sort of collect my thoughts on that.
Okay. So what's actually happening where you can see that into the hard drive in the space is you've done all the work, you've legwork. So it's more on their end than on your end. So they're trying to figure out how this is actually going to work and proceed forward. So it's like you've got most of the heads going, yes, yes, yes. There's a few little naysayers over here we have to remove out. Thank you, God. So I'm going to start to remove all that through. But you are in the right place. The project's ready. It's just the right person saying, okay, let's go. It seems like whoever you're talking to, they're really, really busy. They're not even fully grounded in what they need to do in terms of finalizing things. But it's not like it doesn't want to be there. But what you put together is actually needed, and you know that. It's actually required for all of the people within the department. So that's very good. There is some resistance on your side though, which I'm going to start to remove. That accumulation of resistance comes from actually, okay, I've worked this. I'm ready to go. If this comes into place, your whole business is going to start to change and everything, and it'll become more like a snowball. So there's some fear on your end of, oh my gosh, I actually get what I want. And am I ready for that? So are you okay if I remove that out?
Yeah, no, for sure.
That's exactly the point that I was trying to get at. I was like trying to figure out the wording. I was like, that resistance of wanting for it to see what would happen by the time that actually unfolded, because it really does change you so much. And it's like, am I ready for this change? Would I be okay? And to see how it's going to look in the end.
Too.
Yeah, it changes your whole business model. So basically meaning that you can see it goes into other companies. So it gets picked up in other ways. So then also what it says to do, and I'll just put this in the field so the body's really strong to it, is it needs to make sure that you're just very flexible to create more change depending on which person you're dealing with and which kind of division. So this one you have like police, but what if all of a sudden now they're like, could you morph it for, social workers? I'm just throwing something out there, but you can see different kind of people will come in. So it's the same base. Your foundation is strong, but there needs to be flexibility to mold with them. And then there's an area I got to strengthen with budget. So this doesn't have to do with you. Everything you've priced, everything good is good. It actually has to do with how they budget their end. So I'm just going to do some adjustments there. How does that feel now?
I definitely feel like I have better understanding. It's kind of what's sort of like maybe a little bit of me, a little bit of them, like what's sort of blocking it, because it's been frustrating me for months.
Yeah, you're just ready. We got to just let all of this go now. And the accumulation, I'll just move, thank you, God, to the roots, to the seeds, and where you've dealt with these people before. So any other interference energy, I'm just going to actually start to move it off so the body is really in alignment. So basically, if you can start to even I'm just seeing the best tool for you to do that. Okay, so see whoever you're dealing with, the organization, and as you actually reach out your arms, because the physiology of the body does a lot of this, and just see it coming right towards you, and then tap your heart. Thank you, God, reset, let go. So if you pull it towards you, like literally you're reach out and pulling them towards you, and all finalized and even better. It really looks like you're going to get finalized. It shouldn't take too long here, actually. There we go. So let's just do some final resolutions here. Move you out of your way a little bit more. And then we'll, hang on a second, move them out of their way. It keeps going back to bureaucracy. Move the bureaucracy. Move the bureaucracy. Yeah. I'm like, okay.
All the red tape.
Yeah. Bureaucracy is a big word. So that is, that's huge. When Spirit says that, we're in a big space. So I'm going to remove that away. And thank you, God, will strengthen you and them and all the various combinations to getting the final resolution and moving forward for 2020. So because it doesn't look like they've said to you, oh, I don't like this or I don't like that. They actually like what you've put together. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, the conversation I had with my person up at headquarters said he really liked it, and it was definitely something that they would need. It just, and then that was it. I'm like, and
Yeah.
So,
They just need a little bit more boost. So I would reach out to them again in a couple of days. Absolutely. Just let this sort of sit for a little bit and just be like, wow, go into that energy of already done. So that energy of, wow, this is amazing, that this is so good. Like not just visualizing, but really expressing it. I'm so happy this is done. This is what I'm doing every day. Spend a little bit of time in that exercise. And it's also will keep the energy nice and anchored in. So when you're talking with them again, they're really going to pick that up, which will then allow it to move forward.
I do see it. I see like little bricks kind of going together.
Yeah.
And like just coming together really quickly, like a little puzzle. And yeah, it'll be very quickly for sure.
Oh yeah, they need this. You got to get them out of their stress.
Yeah, I know.
They need you. All right, Larissa, let me know how that goes.
Awesome.
Okay, we'll stay on that with you.
Thank you so much. All right, have a good day.
You too. Lots of love.
Take care. Bye.
I love it. You know, when you see people like that really going into these organizations and helping them, and you know, different than we were at an event this weekend, and the guy beside us was teaching about stress management. He was the most wound up top we've ever seen. So you don't want to be there, guys. So Larissa's got it on point, definitely. What's your favorite tool, Doris? For I know we have to go to break soon, and then we're going to bring Dana in. But what's your favorite tool to release stress?
Oh, definitely, it would be the tapping of the heart. I mean, that's the one stress tool for sure. But as well as this whole sweeping of the field, I always find it's just whatever it is, it's not mine. Just release it, and it just sort of calms over. It almost is like that little blanket that you get.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting.
My favorite.
We'll let our listeners know this. I know we're going to break some, but we'll let our listeners know that I've been asked, you have to bear with me. There's a lot of things when our community asks for things, I create them based on what you ask for. That's how a lot of stuff gets developed. And if you go to our website, and that's where you find Doris on our website. And it's interesting because a lot of people ask for a toolbox. So I'm creating the toolbox. This is not a small toolbox. This is actually when people buy the toolbox, I think we're up to like 50 tools that you can grab at any point throughout your day. That literally takes seconds to do. I didn't realize we had so many tools. When people are sending in their favorite tools, I love this tool and that tool. Like you were just saying, tapping of the heart, the one simple tool that's on the YouTube, right? Thank you, God, reset, let go. Or like you say, sweeping away the field. There's energy in your field. And those are so amazing. Now, do your kids use them? Do your kids use the tools?
Yes, I find that they use this one the most.
The tapping of the heart?
Well, because they're in a school environment where it does feel a little bit more anxious. So I find that I just sort of catch them sort of doing little bits like that.
Rubbing.
So
yeah.
The rubbing. That one's pretty much the go-to. It really is because I mean, it's their environment.
Yeah, it is their environment. And it is when you're in these heavier environments, right? And I think right now too, as people are starting to walk into different places and the stress of the holidays. Don't get into the stress, guys. Doris and I are here to tell you, don't get into the stress. Mm-hmm. You can change it. You can release it. It's okay though to have a moment. It's okay. We're all human. We're allowed to do that. So love it. Also for our listeners, TracyLClark.com, there is our Effortless program. And I love it because if you require a place to stay on point where you need support and help and the Unleash the Superhuman Within Facebook page, because quite often when we go through changes or we're just having wins, we want to be celebrated. And I think those are really good spots to be there. Again, created out of your asks. And this is really different in our community because we do see you, we hear you, we go, what do you require? And we create. That's how everything's created. So make sure you check it out, TracyLClark.com. Stay tuned. Doris and I are going to come back with Dana from Arizona, and we'll be back right after the break.
Tune in to Knowledge Book Radio with host Marge Potasic each Tuesday at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com. Through many experiences, Marge was led to the Knowledge Book, a gift to humanity in its transition to the Golden Age, and it provided the truth and the answers. She now shares information from the Knowledge Book with you each week on TransformationTalkRadio.com. For more information, visit usa.theknowledgebook.net.
You know that moment when you realize you've mastered your wellness or that you will never fall off the roller coaster of life? Well, yeah, me either. But I still ride unicorn. I will teach you how to become a mindset master. You will learn how your habits and behavior affect the success of your nutrition and exercise, relationships, organization, and so much more. Motivation doesn't arrive in an email, so stop waiting for it. You have to take action, then motivation follows. I am Coach Peggy Well. Get out of your comfort zone and recognize the simple truth. We aren't that special. We all have crap to deal with, and we all have a lot more in common than not. I want to spark you into action. We will learn, love, and laugh together. So join me every first and third Monday at 3 p.m. Pacific for Coach Couch and Coffee Radio, where you will learn that being happy and healthy is way more than carrot sticks and squats. But talk to you later.
Hi, I'm Laura Meeks, and the most common problem that my clients face is all work and no play. This is why I created Fly High Living. I help you develop a balanced life plan and guide you to a place where you love to wake up in the morning.
Call 888-666-1570 or go to flyhighliving.com to sign up for the 4-week Flight Plan for Life course.
Calling all moms, it's time to awaken your vibrant, intuitive, loving self in every area of your life. Join host Debbie Pokornik as she shares thoughts, stories, and tools to help you stand in your power. Listen to Vibrant, Powerful Moms helping everyday women create extraordinary lives. Mondays at 2:30 Pacific, 5:30 Eastern. For more information about Debbie, visit empoweringenergy.com. That's empowering with letters NRG.com.
Welcome back to the Tracy L. Clark Show. We have some incredible callers, and we have Doris with us today. She's one of our super facilitators. She actually trained with me for over 6 years, so she knows what's going on. I don't think you've missed ever a class, an event. You've been awesome.
On my mission.
You're on your mission. I love it.
On my mission.
All here to help make your life better, not just talk about it. We actually do it with you, and we never leave you there. So we're very different that way. All right, Zach, we have Dana on the line.
Yes, Dana from Arizona.
Hi, Dana. How are you?
Hi, Tracy. I'm doing great. Great. I have a lot to share. Be patient with me. I know your love and heart and that is a lot more in spiritual awareness and understanding than we can believe. But once we start believing in it and what it gives to us, we start to understand how we can build on our own spiritual awareness and understanding, and it makes us a better person. Today, I love my subconscious. Today, I love my subconscious. I love everything that God has given me. My subconscious, all my negativities, my rejections, my missed love and everything were given by others. But see, they didn't have an understanding to know what they were taking out of us because they didn't have the understanding, the spiritual awareness to know that it was given from somebody else that they have. They are now passing on to us,
Amen. That's true. That is so true.
Mm-hmm.
Within my subconscious itself, well, let me I want to give this out because I threw a little bit of rage and anger in one of the community members, and I wanted to get back to him, and I think I got the answers. And I wanted to give them to him, so I'll give them to him right now.
Okay.
If I were to, one of the words that we speak have a lot of influence on, the anger that it's expressed with it, that we're expressing from other people that we've received. It's not us. It's what we've got from others that's showing up. It's not within us,
Correct.
So if I were to say, well, sorry's a big one. Sorry's a big one because if I tell this person now that I'm sorry, I'm only supporting my own subconscious in what I was giving out and what I've given to him in a sorry. He feels better about himself. But unfortunately, the message that I gave him is now resonated with what he has within himself, his own missing perfections that he's received from somebody else, right? So it makes him feel better to say that I'm sorry. He feels better, but the point of it is he's already received the negativity and the frustrations. They've already gone into his subconscious, and now they've built upon them.
Well, there's definitely a place that when we're small, yes, the negativity or the space that comes from those energies build up. A sorry is actually a word that, unfortunately, if it's not backed up by an action, it doesn't really do anything for anybody. And it goes back to the forgiveness line of unconditional forgiveness and love for self and others, not necessarily the experience that was dished out. You don't always have to give that experience, but yeah, it all comes from within. It comes from within. And I'm happy you shared that, because it does come from within, and it comes from saying, hey, let's look at different perspectives and really have a beautiful space of understanding that everybody has a different perspective based on their experiences, like you said. And so it's really lovely that, when you have a place where people can look at many different perspectives and then come to a new outcome and a new way of being, which is that beautiful connection to the God consciousness, which comes back into love. And that's really where so much is going now. And that wipes out the old.
What God has given us in our own subconscious is to make us realize the imperfections in that we build out of. You know, it allows us to give us better spiritual understanding and awareness of what the subconscious has done to us from other people. 100%. But it also makes us improve when we recognize what it's for, to make it spiritually grow and come with better understanding and awareness of why it's there, what it's doing, and what its purpose is, and allowing us to be a much better, truthful person within ourselves. That's why it's there. So I love it, because it's feeding me in a direction, in a higher awareness of knowing and understanding, and definitely all love, because that's the reason it was put there.
Yeah. And such beautiful lessons that we learn. And when people realize that what is, you know, I don't know who said it, but what's good about this? It's some old way of teaching, but what is good about this? I'm not getting, or why is this here? And how can I come out into a much, you know, better version of myself? And I think too, people do have to be more gentle on themselves. I had people that call me, and had a beautiful call from a woman last week in the States. And she said, you know, am I crazy for this? And I'm like, no, you just, unfortunately, you know, you're ready to look at something different. And, you've had a lot of the programming from other people thrown on her. It's like bad laundry that really smells.
Well, that's exactly what it is. Well, when new people, now that I look at new people coming into the community, God has given each individual gifts to individual people to bring and show a difference between what they're bringing to the table, to have people recognize what they now have within themselves and move forward.
Amen. Yeah.
Yes. And be at peace with whatever decisions they make. And then as a community, again, recognizing that each one of them are different, and each one of us may be triggered or affected by what people bring. But again, that will only strengthen yourself as well, because you'll see, oh, where in that area did that bother me? And it's like, oh, you know what? Let's just see it, and we'll just send it off with peace, unconditional love, and then help them out. And then it helps you out and figure out where that comes from. We all go through it, and just recognizing it strengthens us so much more.
Triggers are great. Triggers are
love triggers.
People started to see the triggers and go, oh, that triggered me. Why? And then it's like, okay, rather than reacting, and we see.
But then I have to recognize, I have to look back on my life and realize for what it was. My father was a high-ranking officer, and now I know in my heart right now he loved me, but he didn't realize what he was spanking me for, because it was giving from another. If he worked in an electrical shop aboard a base, I take in reason, if things didn't go well at the base, he brought that anger home with him. Well, guess what? He's taking his anger now out on his children to release that and feel better about himself, not knowing and recognizing exactly why he was doing it, because he doesn't have that information.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting you bring that up. I can't remember the gentleman's name, so I have to apologize. I was at a conference and I heard him speak, and he deals with a lot of people and military and stuff. And he was saying that what he does is, he trains them that when they come back, and that's exactly what's happened, right? They're still in military mode when they come in the family. And what he was saying is he kind of would have them change their attire and everything. So before they go in the house, he'd put them in golf clothes or golf shirts, and then wear different things. So when they could come in, they could start to transform into the person they should be at home rather than bringing all the job in with them. So I absolutely love it. I'm so glad you called in, Dana. We just got to get to another caller. So call in again, okay?
I do not want to pick up somebody else's message. That might be
all good. We so love you. We so love you. So call in next week, okay?
Have a beautiful Thanksgiving, everybody.
Oh, you too.
Oh, you too.
You're so welcome. Thank you so much. All right, Zach, we have Sophia on the line. Is that correct? Are we there, Zach? With Sophia?
Yes, Sophia from Toronto. You are on the Tracy L. Clark Show.
Hi, Sophia.
Hey, Tracy. How are you?
There you are. Fabulous.
Oh,
welcome
thanks
home.
for all the support recently. You knew I would call in.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah, I guess my question is, obviously I've been through like a great deal of stress in the last 6 weeks. And the body is definitely feeling it, as evidenced by some of the blood work. And the stress levels have been really, really high. So if you have any advice or any clearings, that would be really helpful.
Absolutely, because your body loves stress. So what is it about? I'm going to ask you this question. It does. It literally feels that if it's not in stress mode and is calm mode, there's this programming that runs that something is wrong. Something is not right with you. And even though the brain is like, I don't like this anymore. This is driving me. You get it. You're super intelligent. And super intelligent people, guys, I will tell you, I was one of them. So I know exactly what you're doing. And we're like, wait a minute. We get really, the brain goes. And then it's like, oh, but I have to have this. So I want to ask you something because I can see it's very mechanical. I want to take it out of the body and reverse the heart space over the brain. What is it, the moment that, because you just let this stress come in and then it just whisks you away. It's like a stream, right? It just catches you and then all of a sudden you're down that rapid and it's like, how do I get out of that? What is it that's the biggest place you find where this stress serves you?
Like in terms of health or like actual location?
Just both, because there's a part of the stress that the body, it actually feeds off of it. It likes it. And then it starts to trigger all the other issues to bring back in the body. It's like, there's this agreement I am going to break, in your system because it's so sweet. It's like, I'm not allowed to be stress free. I'm not allowed to have this total peace. Like, were you little, were you told you weren't allowed to have, I know your environment was very crazy. Were you told you weren't allowed to have stress, or did you just pick it up? That there wasn't, this was
it probably just got picked. I don't remember like that being said, but it probably just got picked up from the environment. It was like, a lot of the family, like my mom specifically, like it was very hard for her to find happiness and joy, even when there was a reason to be happy and joyful. So I think that's definitely it. And then I think there's the fear is just what I've been trying to break for the last, since working with you, and just really trying to realize that, there is a higher power, and that but it just, when I go down that rapid and it spirals down, it's very difficult for me to get out. In the last 6 weeks, I couldn't, it was like I was in it,
Well, you were in an environment too, because it's interesting because you're in an environment that's very medical based, even though it's opening up into spiritual based, like you're kind of in that holistic space, but not, if that makes sense. Then you've got, then you have this other awareness as your body gets back all of this, information that, you're okay. There's nothing really wrong with you. When I pull that information out, your body wants to pull it back in. Your body's like, I'm not allowed. That's why I said, I'm going to start to remove this root, which basically sounds foreign to people, but there are energies that collect in the body for people listening that we call them, depending on where you come from, spiritual background, a ministry background, a science background, it doesn't matter. They're different terms. So some are like hindrance forces, some are enemy spirits, some are dark.
I see them.
Energies. Yeah. So
I can see them when I meditate.
You got it. So you have an agreement to not let them go. And so what I'm actually going to do for you is I'm doing this for everyone in our miraculous group, but I'll send this to you, is I'm going to, because I can see how heavy they are, to break. There's a saying, like a prayer saying you can say to break them because you have an agreement with them. So I'm going to start to denounce everywhere you made an agreement to play with them in this lifetime, everywhere you made an agreement for them to plug up your actual physical body. And I'm going to thank that hand of God of binding, casting, cursing that out and removing that at the root so the body can actually become free of the agreement. But we also have to do it on the physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, psychological, and psychic. So that's where the ping ponging's happening. Is if it goes out of the physical like it did, then it goes into the mental, right? And then it's in the mental, and then all of a sudden, I'm going to put it back to the physical. So we have to remove where they play. Literally, you've sort of got this energy going through where those dark forces are like, don't forget us. And that's what's creating a plug up in your body. That's what's creating more of the stress. And then, because we want you to get so strong that when you walk into the medical environment, it's like, yeah, I see you have that. Like, I work with people all day long to have stuff that I used to have, but I have no issue. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Okay, let's just get that off for you. I'm so neutral.
Yeah. So I was doing really well before I left.
Yes,
and I was at a point where I felt really strong. And then coming back, I mean, it's been the blood work came back really not great. And then some medications and stuff were ordered, and I broke out in a rash. Like, my body's rejecting it. So,
because your body knows what it was like to have clean blood work. Your body's already been there. It's already seen that. And then for you, so the way the energy for you sits in your spleen, and then it goes back into the nervous system. So we actually have to start to override and rewrite as well. I'm going to pull this energy out of the spleen, the DNA and genetic coding that's in the spine that's been in agreement with these life force energies. So I'm going to start to remove that. Doris, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, so I was going to say that before. From what I was sensing, it almost feels like you're sort of playing, I don't want to call it like a superstitious thing. It's that every time you find a cushion with something, because you'll think, if I fall back on this, it will help me go to the next level, to something that will help me. It's almost like if I step on this crack, say for example, that's what's going to help me.
Yeah.
In the end, it's kind of a weird sort of play that I'm seeing. It's almost so you feel comfort in
that.
Yeah,
like I'm always trying to find the cause. So is it a virus?
Yes.
Is it this? And ultimately I can feel it. It's me.
Yes. So we'll reverse all of that.
Yes.
Yeah. We got to reverse the perception and reverse that out. Thank you, God. I'm going to reset this for you on every level layer, because when we're always looking for a cause or we're looking for something else, it always brings more in. And sometimes if people don't understand, it can bring like tenfold of things in where you're like, oh my gosh, right? And then all of a sudden the symptoms show, and then the body creates it. So I'm going to remove this energy out, and then I'll make sure you get that prayer that you can say as well. It's a release blessing of these energies that sit in the spleen. They also affect people's hormones. They also affect people's stress levels and the nerve system, and creates nerve damage, which then the DNA and genetic coding starts to go the other way. So energetically, we can start to remove that. How does your body feel right now? I have to also reset your chemical electrical frequency patterns just a little bit differently.
Yes, which I was going to say.
Sorry,
how does your body feel? How does the body feel when you tune into
it? Just
that?
It feels like I want to
Yeah, no, that's okay. That's okay. So we're going to let the energy come out of the spleen. I'm going to actually start to command those energies that you do see that have been playing with you to go and override them with some new holy beings and some new holy spaces of energies that are actually really good for you. So those would be the medical angels. Those would be your guides. So it would be the God consciousness. We can go into the Christ consciousness with healing and restoration, which is just high vibrations of love coming through the spinal system, which we can start to run up and down. It looks like about a 48-hour process. So don't feed. That's where the negative energies can get a little bit more forceful, because remember, you're the host. They don't want you to go. So don't feed it. Okay. Perfect.
Okay.
So I'll get that off to you, and then you let me know how you're doing. Okay.
Okay, thanks so much.
See you soon. Lots of love, sweetheart.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, Zach, we have Sandra quickly on the phone before we're already at the top of the hour.
Wow.
Yes, Sandra from Toronto, you are on the Tracy L. Clark Show.
Hi, Sandra.
Thank you. Hi, Tracy. Hi, Doris. How are you?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good.
What's your question today?
I'm just calling regarding Sunday. I felt amazing after. Thank you guys for all pushing me to come.
The Angel Workshop?
But
yeah.
And I was tested like crazy yesterday.
You would be?
I just feel today my whole right side is just lots of pain, and my jaw on the left side going to my ear and my throat. Just if I can just have a little bit of release. I've done my tapping, I'm doing my work, but if I can just get you guys to just kind of release it a little more for me, would be great.
Yeah, to process everything.
Yeah, the body's actually processing. And remember I said at the end of that workshop, which happens if you ever make it to any of our events online or in person, there's a lot that leaves and the vibration has moved quite quickly. I will tell you, Sandra, I was even tested after the workshop, which happens, right? We say new devil, new level kind of thing. It's our joke where people try to come in and say, are you really ready to go to this next level? The body also looks like it is working to release a lot of the pain and inflammation that was stored. So that's excellent as well. So I can reset. Yeah, the right and the left. So it's not a bad thing. Sometimes people think after a big event like that, if the body starts to react that, oh my gosh, like, is this a bad thing? It's not all the time. And that's the misinformation people have. So I can reverse that. Doris, do you have something you want to pipe in there with?
Yeah, as well as it's sort of just rebalancing the body and getting it to sort of reconnect and recalibrate after all this. It's a lot of energy to process, and it really is trying to get it all back together. And I said, sometimes it's like, I guess you put tension and you're almost sort of like trying to process and chew it up and trying to like, sort of force it. As I said, as Tracy says, kind of speed it up a little bit, maybe signal to the body upward to say, let's just do this with more ease and grace and just speed up the process. And that should help as well. Again, continue all your tools that you were using.
Your body actually needs a salt bath, a really good hot salt bath.
Hot bath.
You can see that as well. And I'm going to remove and pull down the inflammation in the body so we can start to dissolve and liquefy it out versus having to feel the pain in that space. And I'm just going to start to command some new energy. So I'll balance out the right and left. Let's pull that out. How does the body feel as I do this? How's your body feeling?
Already. Incredible.
Yeah, we're going to remove the rest of the pain. This is something to do that people, if they're listening. So Sandra was at our angel workshop. The next one we have is in the end of January. And I know if you're from other countries, that's why we will stream those. We have our live events, or whether you're in the Miraculous Realm or the Effortless Academy. When you start to actually work in the energy with a group like this, it's bumping so high that's why the body will respond so quickly. So most people jump from thing to thing to thing, from person to person to person. And I get that there's a lot of old teachings out there, but if you really stay steadfast and you start to move, see how quickly Sandra's body's responding, because it's like, oh my gosh, there's this incredible energy that starts to come in from the God consciousness that moves her very fast. And this is what makes us different from a lot of other communities is, one, you get the support of all the people like Sandra and Doris and all these people, Dana, that come in, but you also get that clear conduit to the God consciousness. I mean, I've heard a lot of people say, oh, I teach you how to go to the God consciousness, but they're right in the middle of your field. And that takes a lot of training and understanding to get out of that you're just the vessel. So this is why Sandra's body can respond so quickly, because all of a sudden it's like, oh yes, we just reconnect back up to the God consciousness differently. So the body can have a new perception, a new awareness, and let go of the pain and let go of that old teaching that it has to have a ton of pain. So how does the body feel right now, Sandra?
It's calmer. It's much calmer. I was ready to go get adjusted. And I remember in one of your workshops, you mentioned about having to always go feel like you got to get adjusted. And right away, that was my first thing. Oh, I need to go get adjusted. And I thought, nope, I'm changing my perspective in my mind and saying, nope, do more work or get more connected.
You're right. There's times when the body says, oh, I require that. But a lot of times, because we're so used to that, oh, I need to run and get a vitamin, or I need to run and get a pill, or I need to run. And at times, yeah, sure, there's a place for that. But a lot of times your body can figure it out. Like I had a lot of shoulder pain that was happening from things that were going and shifting and, you know, taking my course and back in school and helping everybody. I had a lot of shoulder pain in my right shoulder. And I just sat at night and I was like, thank you, God. And it'd been there for a little while. And I could have run and gotten an adjustment. And I'll tell you, it even popped through my head. And I was like, does my body need care? And I went in and I just recalibrated with God and using the tools and everything. And I got up in the middle of the night and pop. And then it just lifted off. And so, you know, I saved myself $150.
Yeah. Yeah, because I was getting a lot of shoulder pain too, and I thought, what the heck? Yeah, so yes, that makes total sense. Yeah.
And then so we disconnect that. But I do have to tell you, there's actually some different financial flow coming into your space as well. So I'm going to actually anchor that in. I just kind of popped in here. I hadn't seen that before. So let's give you that. And that also opens up the body. So there is something shifting there as well. That's moving, and it's already moving behind the scenes, very connected to your ending of your relationship. So thank you, God. It actually is showing that energy is showing as finalized. So when the energy shows is finalized, that's where I get excited. So it's coming, like you've still got some things to work through, obviously, but it's like already done, and your financial picture, everything starts to change. Lifts the stress off
Okay, so
the
I'm booking the retreat then. Should I book the retreat?
So this is where I want to come in and say I'm very proud of Sandra for coming this weekend, because I always remember, if this could apply to Sophia as well and anyone else on the show, is sometimes enemy spirit wants to hold you back from something and makes excuses for you not to actually do this or go somewhere or help yourself, keeps you in the head and makes you want to keep you down. So you made it a priority for yourself and showed up that weekend to see that you knew this was going to catapult you into this. So now she's seeing now it's not only physical, it's transformational for your finances, which you knew that was supposed to start surfacing soon. So let's just hope now that will bring that even further and further towards your end goal. So that's amazing.
Thank you. Well, you guys, I just want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. And then Tracy at the end. If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't have showed up. I'm so grateful. You guys, I was bawling for hours just because I was so grateful with all the love and the support that you guys gave me. And that was just meant so much to me. So I was so grateful for all of you. So thank you so much, you guys. I can't believe I was going to miss it. It was phenomenal.
Well, this is what happens. And I've been there where all of a sudden, I don't feel well, or I'm like, get your butt to the class. You feel so much better to people. And to shift in the God consciousness, to be in that spirit divine energy on a whole other level than what a lot of people teach out there. And I say that's where you should be. But enemy spirit, exactly, when it comes in, it will find every reason, every excuse, because you're going to change. I even had somebody say to me, I'm so terrified to go on that retreat, so I don't know if I want to go, because she's so worried that a week in that would mean that, maybe her relationship's going to end because it's not in the best space. And I said, but this again, enemy spirit holding people back. I said, if it's something you want to do, you got to do it for you, right? And then everything will change. Yeah. But this is what enemy spirit does. And it creates stuff. And then you can get, mad and angry at other people or places or things. But it's all to keep you held back. And when I learned that lesson, my whole world changed. So I'm so grateful.
I notice every event now, I do get triggered. So now I know exactly why it's happening. So, and now it's never going to win. I'll be the winner. Yep. I'll be on top.
And
but
again,
I'm really thinking of that retreat. And Doris is like, it's already done, Sandra. You're going to be done. And I'm like, I keep thinking of it. I just want to be there so bad.
You never know. Thank you, God, for creating miracles through your solution. Thank you, Sandra. Yes. And thank you, everyone, for listening. So much love. I can't believe we're at the top of the hour. Thank you, Doris, for joining us today and making the show even more fun. You can make sure you call in again next week. We're going to be answering some more of your questions. Check us out at TracyLClark.com. If you want to come to the Soul Getaway, it is May 8th. It is on there. It is very luxurious and beautiful. A whole week of shifting in the energy. And I know it's going to be an incredible time. Any quick closing thoughts, Doris?
Oh, just make yourself a priority, everybody. Step out. And when you don't want to, just jump. And I had this visualization of jumping off a cliff and saying, where's it going to go? And at the end, you'll have that cushy mat. Who knows what will come along the way, but you know that it'll be even better than you expected.
It will. And I promise you, if you let us know what you require, we will show up to help you every step of the way, because we have all been where you have been. And we know that there's an incredible way of living and being for 2020. So can't wait to see you guys all next week, right back here, same time, same place, Transformation Talk Radio, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 8 a.m. Pacific, right here on the Tracy L. Clark Show. So make sure you tune in next week and get some more shifting. Have a great week, everybody. Thank you for listening to the Tracy L. Clark Show with me, Tracy L., where I teach you how to live your extraordinary life. Tune in every Tuesday, 8 a.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio, where I combine ministry, science, and spirituality, revealing the steps you need to transcend perceived limitations. As a remarkable leader and pioneer in my field, I, Tracy L., will provide insights energetically and the tools required to move you forward. For more information on my partnership program, check us out at TracyLClark.com.